Hey everyone, how's it going? I just wanted to do one of these little process videos with a voiceover. This one's going to be quite a bit longer than the last one. Generally, these illustrations take me the longest. They're a little more fleshed out, and I spend more time on polishing them. This piece is called Splash, and it's one of my more recent pieces, and I actually really love how this one came out, so I thought I'd talk about it just a little bit. I start out by just sketching out a character. That's usually where I start with these illustrations. I generally they're the focal point, and they're also meant to be like the main character of this piece. Um, so there is kind of a story going on with these illustrations. I uh, I have this idea of a virus that infects just stuffed animals and toys, and it brings them to life. So then they take over their world, and then they move on to the next world. So this virus is slowly going through the universe and just taking over different planets. So it's like this fun, silly idea that I've had going on for a while. Uh, the concept isn't too fleshed out, but there is some tidbits of it in like the descriptions of my NFTs. So eventually, I would like to make this into like a cartoon or a comic book and just play with this concept a lot more, maybe even a video game at some point. But yeah, right now I'm moving on to the line work, and this is generally my favorite part of the process just because I don't think as much about it. It's so second nature to me that it's almost like taking a break. My brain just gets turned off and I just start putting down lines. Um, I generally do like a thicker outline on characters or of anything in the piece, and then I'll go in with a thinner brush and I will add the details with that. And I got this idea from The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. And like that's a cartoon that I loved as a kid, and they do that in their artwork that they do very thick outlines with the details being done very thinly. And I thought that was just a really cool idea, so I kind of adopted it. Um, so yeah, I just kind of go through, add all the line work. I'll add a bunch of little flourishes here and there, like on the rabbit itself. I'll add like stars and stuff to its face just to like make it pop a little bit more, just to add a little more detail. Um, and yeah, like I said, the line work portion is always kind of second nature to me. I spent so much time like learning how to draw and learning how to do the line work that like I don't think about it. Nah, I generally only do one sketch layer and then one line work layer. I know a lot of people will do like a first draft and second draft and then maybe go through and start the line work. I feel like if I do too many drafts, like I start to dislike pieces a lot. So I try to just go in and get it done. Once I'm happy with the sketch layer, then I go right in and start doing the line work. So now moving on to the coloring, and I think this is my weakest point. I I don't I haven't studied color as much as maybe I should have. Like I don't ever pick out palettes. I just start laying down colors. I haven't really studied that much color theory compared to like how much I've studied character design and things like that. So that's something I might actually work on. Uh, that I do know I have room to improve in that aspect, and maybe I should experiment a little more with them because I always use these very bright and very saturated colors. So it's always fun to try something different. But anyway, so yeah, I generally like will make my points one color, and then I'll try to complement it with the scene around them. So as you can see, like the little rabbit guy and the little demon guy and the little ghost guy, they're all blue. But then like there's these bright greens and all these pinks that are kind of like leading towards them. So I think it like trains the eyes to see them, and they're the main things you look at, and then your eyes kind of roam around the piece and take in the rest of the detail. So that's kind of the thought process behind that. So now I add a little bit of line work to the eyes. I always like to add that little flourish to them. Um, and it's easier to do that after you add the color because then you can put a clipping mask over them. Um, So now I am changing the background because I feel like my backgrounds have been boring recently, so I wanted to try something a little different. So I had these like little comic book splashes in the corners, and then I take a retro halftone brush, and I go over the background with it. I thought it gave it like a cool comic book feel. But at this point, I kind of knew something was missing, but I didn't know what. So I just kind of played around with stuff and just tried a few different things. Eventually, I started adding these like little lights, and I thought they were cool because they almost look like they don't belong on the picture itself, kind of like they were painted on the background or something. Like they look separate from the scene, and I just thought it was a really cool look and something kind of different and unique that I hadn't done before. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now I'm just kind of finishing up, adding a couple little flourishes, just a few little things to flesh out the scene a little bit more, and that's the finished piece. So you guys have a great day. Bye.